elves? Oh, a stupid question. Are the elves vegan?
Vegan? Yeesh,
Like,
man,
do they
I don't know. That's a
do
good
they
one.
eat meat? Like at least vegetarian, like, or do they
I
just eat plants?
I don't recall him ever talking about their diet, so I don't really
Okay.
know. But I want to say they're not. I want to say that they're not vegan. I want to say.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I put
Um,
it so stupidly, but like it's an actual question.
but I
Sorry.
honestly don't ever. I don't recall
Because
diet.
always for the same thing of like being in tune with nature and blah blah blah. Do they talk about hunting or feasts or
I do believe they
anything
go.
like
I do
that?
believe they go hunting, but also it's you got to remember that the elves are not like what is like I told you the dwarves have seven fathers, right? And the ones that we're
Right.
seeing are the line of Durin. There's other dwarves. We're just seeing
Mm-hmm.
one kind of dwarf. We're not seeing all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Same thing with the elves. There's different kinds of elves too. There's the Vanyar. There's the I'm not gonna remember all the names right now, but the Teleri. So like the dark elves, or not really dark. That's something from like probably D&D and
Yeah.
Skyrim. In Tolkien, they were called deep elves. In fact, originally the deep elves he called them gnomes, but then he
Ah.
kind of let go. But then he kind of let go of that because gnomes have a different connotation in common fantasy. When we think of gnomes, we think
Yeah.
of obviously something very different. But
Yeah.
originally they were called gnomes because the deep elves were the only elves that liked, like the dwarves, liked to deal with mining and jewelry and stuff like that. And that's why. And they're the ones that come back to Middle Earth for the most part. The Vanyar
Mm.
stayed with the Valar. The Teleri, which is like includes the wood elves like Legolas, they never went the uh, to the land of the gods, to the I forget the name of it right now, Aman. And the deep elves are the ones that went but then came back because the Silmaril was stolen, and they are essentially Feanor and his sons and his brothers and his nephews and nieces, which that's what Galadriel is. She's a niece of Feanor. So I think she's the daughter of Finarfin. So um, there's different kind of elves, and I would think the deep elves are the more aggressive ones, and they definitely hunt. Now, do they hunt and
Okay.
eat?
Yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't, but I don't. I'm not. I don't know if he mentioned it or not. I'm not very good with those. I'm not a good. I'm sadly don't pay attention to those type of details. I
Yeah.
should
I mean,
have.
it's a small
I know they
detail,
hunt.
so it's
I know they
fine.
hunt. So I'm assuming that if they hunt deer, if they go hunting, they're gonna eat it. I'm assuming.
Right. Right. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean. But I would
Mhm.
say maybe different elves have different diets, but
Yeah. Could be.
I don't think that they avoid eating flesh. I don't think that's the case.
Okay.
But
Good to know.
as
Sorry.
as far as
Just
as far as facial hair, I don't ever it's a good I don't ever recall him ever mentioning any elf having facial hair.
But do not let that fear blind you to the ways it can be used for good.
If I'm gonna follow these people's crazy logic, this guy Kirdan that he's talking to right now, he's an asshole
mhm.
because he put on the ring. And Elrond believes that's the whole problem. Like, don't use the rings because Sauron's gonna, you know what I mean? Sauron's gonna manipulate you
Yeah.
through the ring. You're playing his game. It's his labyrinth. Okay, okay. So then, doesn't that? Why are you talking to Círdan? He's an idiot because he put on the ring. He's precisely just. He's no different than Galadriel and Gil-galad in that sense. If the rings are a temptation that if you fall into it and you put them on, you are going to be manipulated by Sauron and you're going to fall into his trap, then Círdan is an idiot. Now, the truth of the matter is that none of this makes sense because it's not true. The reason the elves even put on the rings, and they, again, because they don't want to follow the story, if I remember correctly, the elves only put on the rings once they discovered the treachery of Sauron. And we're not even there yet in terms of the story. The treachery of Sauron, in other words, they made the first 3 rings, and then Sauron with Celebrimbor makes the 7 rings and the 9 rings and then the 1 ring, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not until he takes those rings and gives them to the dwarves and gives them to the men, the 9 men, you know what I mean, and puts on the 1 ring. At that point, the elves realize, oh shit, we've been deceived. He's not with us. He's using us. He's made these rings to control. Now we're going to put on the rings to protect the realm and to hide from him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a completely different motivation for why you're putting on the rings here. And that's why I find this so confusing, because here they're trying to make it look like, ooh, they're falling into temptation. But no, this guy's saying, no, we need to have the rings because if Sauron gets the rings, he's going to use it to manipulate things. But if we have it, we're going to keep it at peace. We're going to flow with creation. And it's like, but that's not even how any of that happened. You put on the rings once you found out he had the other rings in order to be able to hide from him and subvert what he's trying to achieve. So in the end, even Elrond would agree that they should have put on the rings. You know?
Yeah.
If you believe they have strayed, do not abandon them, but rather open your eyes.
This entire frustration that they're trying to create for Elrond, this confusion, this life searching, like I'm trying to figure this out, what's the right decision? This doesn't make any sense. It doesn't go with what he actually would be dealing with at this point and with the actual function of the rings. That's why it's so off-putting. This is such a stupid version of Gandalf. I'm sorry. And I'm not talking about how he looks. I'm talking about like the fact that he would even be dehydrated. The fact that he wouldn't even know how to take care of himself. The fact that he wouldn't even... I get that he's in a new world, and that's kind of cool. Like, he's lost. You know, he's trying to gather himself. Like, it's kind of like the Superman thing. Like, didn't Superman, like, crash into Earth?
Yeah.
You know, okay, but, like, come on, man. How stupid can you be, though, at the same time? You know what I mean? That's like... Yeah, I'm just going to keep walking in the desert until I dehydrate to death. I'm not going to have a plan. Wow, Gandalf finds a staff. The Blue Wizards?
The Blue Wizards. So I was like, is one of them around and this one's his staff or something?
Oh,
like,
that would be actually cool.
These are they pirates? Is that what we're supposed to get from them? They gotta show off his magical powers with the staff now.
Dude, if you can do that, you can't make a well show up anywhere, like a river of water literally come out of the earth. He's causing a freaking tornado.
Why isn't he stopping it?
Because he doesn't know anything.
Is she called Nori?
I didn't pay attention.
He was screaming Nori earlier.
I guess
and
so.
I was like,
I don't. That's
that's
a dwarf name. Oh, I don't know about that. I know there's dwarves called like Ori, Dori, or I could have it wrong. I'd have to look it up now. From The Hobbit.
Okay.
So, but that one, I don't know, man. You're right. It's Nori.
Okay.
Dude, you created that problem.
Yeah. Now she's a seaweed.
Shit.
That was very disproportionate compared to what they needed to do.
Like,
also, he got back on his feet like way too quickly after literally being so dehydrated that he was passed out.
I really do hope that they're not complete idiots and they have some explanation for it, because like if if what you're trying to say is that he has these amazing superhuman powers that he has no control over because he doesn't know what he is, right? It's like a giant stepping on an ant. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't know
Right, exactly, yeah.
that, you know what I mean? Then you should be extra careful about even using it, right? Because you could kill your friends. Like I mean, at this point, it feels like we know they're not dead, but they could have been dead, right? They could have
Right,
just
yeah.
died. They could have been like in all reality, they would be dead. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
And you did that because you used your superpowers that you have no control over. So why would you even use them? You're almost better off getting caught by the bad guys and then trying to figure out how to get out of a situation than to call a tornado that's just gonna blow. You know what I mean? It's like this is like his version of a nuclear bomb. You know,
Yeah,
that you just
yeah,
blew.
yeah, no,
You blew your
totally.
own friends. You blew your own friends away, as well as the bad guys. What was the point of that if you knew you had no control over that? Logistically speaking,
Yeah,
for
no,
me, I'm just like
it's so weird.
Has it?
this.
Why is that what is huh?
An Elvish. That's an Elvish umbrella.
That looks like
It's literally an
leaf.
umbrella. Oh well, there you go. Very Elvish, I guess.
Yeah, but it's kind of dumb.
It is.
Okay.
But that's the name of this
Sure.
show. Dumb.
Yeah, no, you're right. Sorry.
Dummity dum dum. You know what? Fuck Galadriel. I knew she was just a hater, man. Let's hug it out. Let's hug it out, dude. You're not so bad.
And forget all about us.
He has an accent all of a sudden? I don't remember this
I
accent.
applaud your patience.
Are you serious? So this is as stupid as that? Like, oh, now I look like I'm Elvish or like I'm some kind of golden emissary sent from the Valar. So now I believe you. Is that what we're doing here?
That's so stupid, but that face tells me he's convinced and shocked.
You need not
What?
bow to me. Rise.
What is going on here?
Our work begins now.
How did he transform? Did you understand that?
No.
How did he?
I just think he did. Period.
Oh. Period.
I don't know.